from La La Land, a very late arrival last night, but back at it again tonight as we open up a 7-game homestand with the first of 4 against the Washington Nationals. It's Zach Greinke and Tanner Roark tonight. We are set for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly along the way. The purples in place on this Throwback Thursday. It's the D-backs and the Nationals first of 4. Zach Greinke, Bob, on the mound tonight.
Yeah, Zach Greinke has good numbers against just about every opponent he faces, but especially good numbers against the Washington Nationals / Montreal Expos. In 7 career starts, 5-1 record, ERA of 1.49. He has a 16-inning scoreless streak against the Nats going all the way back to May of 2014.
Well, normally we'd be talking about a matchup of National League MVP candidates in Bryce Harper and Paul Goldschmidt, but what's going on with these numbers?
Well, it's hard to figure out. These two guys will end up near the top of the National League leaderboard in just about every important offensive category, but right now, if it weren't for walks, neither guy would be doing too much.
And Harper has recently moved into the leadoff spot for Dave Martinez. Goldie and the D-backs hosting Harper and the Nats. First pitch coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By APS. APS works 24/7 to keep you plugged in, powered up, and connected. By Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Santan Ford. We are Santan Ford. And by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. Oh, it's good to be back home. We got in about 3 a.m. last night, so a little sleepy here, but good to go. First of 4 against the Nationals. Zach Greinke on the mound, and the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Welcome inside Chase Field. The roof is closed here. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, Kate Longworth along the way as the D-backs celebrate the 2001 World Series championship team wearing the 01 home alternate vest uniform. Junior Spivey, Mark Grace, Gonzo, everybody down there as we honor the Brenly-led 01 D-backs. Here's the Dave Martinez-led Washington Nationals. And they're playing very well as of late. They've won 10 of the last 14. Their lineup is brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, Bryce Harper in that leadoff spot. It's been about almost 2 weeks since they inserted him into that leadoff spot. Trey Turner will bat second and play shortstop. Anthony Rendon back off the disabled list at third base. Matt Adams over at first. Howie Kendrick will be at second base. Matt Wieters doing the catching. Michael A. Taylor out in center field. Tanner Roark, the pitcher, batting eighth. And Andrew Stevenson, the left fielder, batting ninth.
Your Ram truck starter for the D-backs, the right-hander Zach Greinke, 3-2 in 7 starts, a 4.10 ERA. And Zach pitched very well here against the Astros on Saturday. Got a no decision.
Yeah, 5 2/3 innings against the Astros in that game. Gave up just the 1 run on 5 hits, but did not figure in the decision.
A look around the diamond at the D-backs defense. That's presented by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Steven Souza Jr. out in right field. A.J. Pollock will be in center with David Peralta over in left field. The infield will be Daniel Descalso at third. Nick Ahmed at short. Ketel Marte at second. Paul Goldschmidt over at first base with Jeff Mathis doing the catching as usual for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Mark Rippiger calls the balls and strikes tonight. He's our plate umpire, the Cowboy, and the crew chief, Joe West, at first base. Doug Eddings is at second, and Marty Foster's at third. Before we get going, Bob, time once again for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, you mentioned the late arrival last night, nearly 3 o'clock in the morning before the team got back into the Valley. So today, Torrey's going with some American Legion ball. No batting practice, no infield practice. Just put your uniform on and play like you used to when you were a kid.
Wearing the uniform in the car, pull up to the field, go out and hit.
Yeah, Joe Madden has done that repeatedly in Chicago with the day games they have there at Wrigley Field following night games. He gives the guys American Legion days from time to time, and Torrey testing it out here tonight.
Washington comes in 2 games over 500, only 2.5 games off the pace in the National League East. And here is their new leadoff man, Bryce Harper, hitting just .230 on the year, but leading the National League in home runs and leading the majors in walks. D-backs put 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. First pitch changeup from Greinke, and it's 0-1 on Harper, who got a day off yesterday in San Diego, his first off day of the year. And he arrives here, Bob, stuck in an 0 for 19 slump.
Yeah, initially when he was inserted into that leadoff spot, he hit a couple of home runs leading off the ball game, and everybody thought, oh, this is it. We're going to jumpstart Bryce Harper, and off he goes. Well, he's fallen into an 0 for 19 since then.
Results aside, what do you think about having this type of hitter in the leadoff spot?
Well, I'm personally not a big fan of it because Bryce Harper's not a guy that's going to steal a base. He probably can't score from first base on an extra base hit. He can hit the ball in the seats, no doubt about that. Instant offense, if you will, at the top of the order. But I like him better in a run-producing spot. 3, 4, 5.
Another changeup miss there. D-backs, as they have done lately, will change the defensive alignment when the count becomes 2 strikes on the batter. Descalso stands near the second base bag where Ahmed was, and Nick moves over to the shortstop spot. And you can see the whole left side of the infield is wide open here. 1-2. This is hit out to Steven Souza Jr. in right field. He plays it on a hop, a leadoff single for Harper, and that ends the 0 for 19.
Yeah, part of the problem for Dave Martinez, where to hit Harper. I mentioned I like him better in a run-producing spot. The problem was nobody was getting on base ahead of him. So why not go ahead and get as many at-bats for your best hitter as you possibly can?
Here's the skipper, Dave Martinez, his first year at the helm of the Nationals. Here's the guy that had been leading off for a long time, the speedy Trey Turner. 269 and 3 home runs. There's a fastball down and away. It's 0-1. Turner was a Washington bat that's started to thaw out here after a chilly April. Last 14 games he's hitting .340. Fastball away. 1-1. It does create this interesting dynamic. You've got Harper, who does have 4 stolen bases on the year, but he's ahead of Turner, who's stolen 12, and Turner can really fly. Change up, just darting down and in toward that right-hand batter. It's 1-2. Chased another one, and Greinke gets his first strikeout. Last time we were in D.C., the Nationals were pretty beat up. They had a bunch of guys on the DL, some of their best players, in fact. And one of them has found his way back. It's Anthony Rendon. 297 and a pair of homers. He homered yesterday in their loss at San Diego.
I got a breaking ball from a left-hander that stayed up and out over the plate and blasted it out of Petco.
Nationals already back way out west here for the second time this season. There's the slow curveball. He steals the strike. Here's Rendon yesterday at Petco Park.
That was Joey Lucchesi threw in that
with
fake
that
curveball changeup thing.
Unusual delivery of his. So Rendon obviously getting back into the swing of things. That slider off the plate a bit. Rendon didn't like it. 1-1. He's a .317 career hitter against the D-backs. He'd been out with a bruised toe after fouling a ball off his foot back in the middle of April. He missed 19 games. High fastball from Greinke.
Yeah, they've had to modify that ankle guard there. You see that extra addition out near the toes to protect the area where Rendon was injured earlier this season.
Well, they're still without Daniel Murphy and Adam Eaton, who had ankle surgery today. So we won't see Spanky back for Washington for quite some time. Murphy recovering from knee surgery in the offseason. Here's his lifted in the air, center field for AJ Pollock. Here's the guy that's been doing all the damage lately. Big City Matt Adams, one of this month's hottest hitters. Now up to 304 with 10 home runs. And he has hit 7 homers in his last 9 games. All this month.
That's hot.
There's the defensive alignment against him.
As we've seen so many times, a pull shift on the infield, an opposite field shift in the outfield.
Yeah, last time we saw Matt Adams, the end of April, he had 3 homers. But you can see what he's done here in May. 9 games, 7 home runs, and 14 runs batted in. Nationals resting Ryan Zimmerman tonight. He's been in and out of their lineup with some lingering back soreness lately. Zach Greinke pitched well here Saturday against Houston. 1 run, 5 2/3. He had 5 strikeouts. Did not get a decision. That was the game that AJ Pollock won with a walk-off infield single. On the ground into the shift. Ahmed collects that one. They strand the leadoff single. D-backs coming up. Ram truck starting pitcher for Washington is Tanner Roark, the 31-year-old right-hander. 2 3 7 starts, only 32 hits allowed in just over 44 innings. He's not had great run support.
A couple of different fastballs, a 4-seamer and a sinking 2-seamer. Has a curve, a slider, a changeup. He'll mix them up depending on what's working on a given night. You may see more curves. Other nights you may see more sliders. Other nights you might see more changeups.
David Peralta had the night off last night in LA. He leads it off. David, 288. He's got 6 home runs. Tanner Roark's main pitch is that two-seam sinking fastball. Comes at about 91 or so, and he'll move it around a lot. Slow breaking ball hit to Kendrick at second. Let's take a look at the D-backs lineup tonight. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
David Peralta will be out in left field. He just led off, grounded out to second base. Daniel Descalso making his way to the plate. He'll be at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. A.J. Pollock out in center field with Steven Souza Jr. in right. Ketel Marte at at second base. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
There is Daniel Descalso. 264 and 4 home runs. There's another slow loopy curveball from Roark. Descalso doubled again last night in LA. He's had extra base hits in 4 straight games. Big curveballs, change up, sliders from Roark. He's going to save that sinker the first time through, perhaps.
Curveball and a couple of changeups to start the sequence here to Daniel Descalso. Just doesn't appear like he wants to challenge him with a heater in this first at bat of the game.
All the way Descalso swung the bat. That's got to be in a scouting report that was presented to Roark. And there's a good example why. Got a fastball and belted it into center field, a 1-out single. E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Washington defense.
Bryce Harper out in right field. Michael A. Taylor in center field. Andrew Stevenson will be in left. The infield will be Anthony Rendon at third. Trey Turner at short. Howie Kendrick at second base with big Matt Adams at first. Matt Wieters doing the catching for right-hander Tanner Roark.
Here's Goldie. That's fouled away. Ball batting .227 with 4 home runs. He walked and had an RBI single last night in Los Angeles. His first run batted in since April 21st. Well, if you had told me on May 10th Goldie would have 12 RBIs, there's no way I'd believe you.
And if you combine that with the statement that the Diamondbacks are going to be 24 and 12, 3.5 games up on their nearest rival in the West, you wouldn't have believed that either with Goldie hitting in the 220s.
They have found ways to win. Torey Lovello, Jerry Narron. Jammed him that time. Got that one in on the hands of fastball, and Turner collects it. That'll bring up A.J. Pollock. Well, what can you say about A.J.? The numbers really do speak for themselves. 308, 11 homers. He leads the National League with that OPS.
He's not going to let anybody else in the National League win that Player of the Week award this year. He won Player of the Month for April, Player of the Week for the first week of May. He's just going to keep racking them up.
Here's that fastball from Roark. A.J. last night in Dodger Stadium singled, walked, had an RBI. He sits safely in 8 of his last 9 games. How about that May so far? About 370. After he was National League Player of the Month in April. Now there's that sinky, sneaky two-seamer. It sinks, and Roark will move that around. He'll kind of chip away with it on the outside corner to right-handers, try and get that comeback two-seamer to catch the edge of the strike zone and get called strikes. He missed with it that time, and it's 1-1. He'll throw it front hip to lefties and have it try and sneak back inside for a strike on the left-hand batter. Got a fastball up and in that time. 1-2.
For Roark, throughout his career, for me, it's always been more about his mix. I mean, he's always got that sinker in his back pocket. That's his go-to pitch if he needs a ground ball. But as I said earlier, depending on which of his secondary pitches are working better on a given night, you'll see more of that particular pitch. And I don't think he even knows what it's going to be until he gets out there on the game mound.
It's a little bit like Zach Godley maybe in that regard. Yeah. There's a slider.
But, you know, his fastball's in the low 90s. Nothing is really off the charts as far as a scouting report would go. But he knows how to use the 4 weapons that he has. He moves them around the zone.
Big Matt Wieters back there. 2-2 on AJ. Got him on a changeup. Roark strands the 1-out single. No score. The D-backs and the Nationals.
With the Diamondbacks boasting the best record in the National League at 24-12, and as our today's Lowe's whole team together suggests, is that this record is absolutely impressive when you think of the fact that the Diamondbacks have scored just 157 runs through 36 games. So what's been the secret to their success? Well, the numbers would say it is the pitching, and according to Torrey, he believes just like hitting can be contagious, so can pitching. He said that the starters have really bought into the idea that they set the tone, and what they do today, the team just builds off of tomorrow.
That's certainly been the case so far, Kate. Absolutely right. Howie Kendrick leads off the second against Zach Greinke. And Kendrick hits it out to right field. Souza's there. One down in the second. Although that pitching depth is being tested. Already lost Taijuan Walker. Saw Taijuan in the clubhouse today. He's got his arm all wrapped up after the Tommy John surgery. Robbie Ray out with the oblique problem. And the D-backs still do not have a starter for Saturday's game here against Steven Strasburg. Here's Matt Wieters, the catcher.
Well, you combine the great pitching the Diamondbacks have had this year with the fact that they lead the majors with fewest errors, only 12 errors all season long. Good pitching, good defense, timely hitting. That's a good formula.
Run prevention is as important, maybe even more so than run production. Little squib shot away from the shift. Descalso can't get there. It trickles into center. And Wieters has a 1-out single.
Well, I think Wieters might have hurt himself. Yeah, he's limping badly.
Oh, man. Just as we were speaking about the Nationals starting to get a little healthier.
Yeah, you see that little jam shot just sneaks through that big hole to the left of second base. A little bit of a misstep there as he got to first base to hit the bag and limps back in immediately, calls out the trainer.
Maybe a cramp.
I saw Davey Martinez looking back to his dugout there on the first base side, nodding his head. Yes, I think Wieters is done.
Well, the backup is Pedro Severino, and he will come in to run for Wieters.
I'm not sure if it was a hamstring or a calf. They were looking at the back of the right knee.
Michael A. Taylor, the center fielder. Taylor 186, 3 homers. Fastball's there, and it's 0-2. Taylor's bat went ice cold as soon as the calendar turned to May. He's 2 for 30 this month. And he'll be out there in center field for quite a while longer. They got bad news on Adam Eaton today. Needed ankle surgery. Mathis keeps it in front. Spiked a changeup. Adam Eaton, the former D-back, has been out for quite some time. April 8th with lingering ankle pain. 2 MRIs and a bone scan. Couldn't find the reason why, so Eaton had to have exploratory surgery today performed by the Green Bay Packers orthopedic surgeon. They found some cartilage irritating the ankle, and so he's going to continue to be out for a while. Boy, Spanky just can't buy a break. He cannot stay healthy.
And Michael Taylor hoping to use that as his break. I mean, this is a guy that's tremendously talented. He just hasn't been able to put it all together for any length of time. But Michael A. Taylor, a guy that can fly around the bases. He plays great defense in the outfield. He's got some pop in that bat. And he's going to get plenty of opportunities with Adam Eaton on the disabled list.
And 2 years ago, the Nationals gave up a whole bunch of top prospects to get Adam Eaton. And he was only able to play in 23 games. He had a really bad left knee injury, a torn ACL, so he missed virtually all of last year. And he's only played in a handful of games this year.
You can see a little bit of a faraway look in Dave Martinez's eyes over there in that first base dugout. He's probably already thinking, all right, who can we call up to take Wieters' place, and what's that going to do to our lineup?
Just off the plate with a fastball, and it's full on Taylor, 3-2. The pitcher, Tanner Roark, who bats 8th in the lineup tonight, is on deck. They had Miguel Montero in with Washington at one point this year. Tied him up in on the hands with a changeup. Just did get a piece.
Partner, one thing you really like about the Diamondbacks record, 12 games over 500 going into play tonight. They're 14-7 this year when they play teams that are over 500. So they're not just beating up on the weak sisters, they're beating everybody.
Well, that's a result, I'm guessing, of this very difficult schedule they've had to start out with. So many games against the Dodgers. Went to the slider, gets his second strikeout, 2 down.
Made him aware inside with that tailing fastball right in on the hands on the previous pitch, and then comes with the slider working the opposite direction away from the right-handed hitter and gets a swing and a miss.
Well, Bob, here's something that was very trendy about 3 years ago or so. The pitcher batting 8th, and not too many people do it anymore, but Dave Martinez does. He's got the left fielder Andrew Stevenson batting 9th behind the pitcher.
For me, it's like 6 of one and a half dozen of the other. You put your pitcher in the 8th spot, he's going to come up with runners in scoring position, and you wish it was a position player. I get the theory, especially if you've got a guy to plug into that 9-hole that has some speed like Andrew Stevenson, a guy that runs pretty well. In effect, it gives you back-to-back leadoff hitters, although Bryce Harper's not your prototypical leadoff hitter. So this lineup is all messed up.
But they're winning. They've won 10 of their last 14. Sticks with a slider. 3 strikeouts for Greinke. No score at Chase Field. Steven Souza Jr. will lead off the D-backs second against the Nationals here. Fans, a reminder, you can play along in our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery from home along with all of us at the ballpark. It's your chance to win half the pot and help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And the winning number is revealed on the post-game show. Tanner Roark back out there. First of 4, the D-backs and the Nationals. After a late arrival at the ballpark last night following the game in LA, we got in about a little after 2 a.m. the plane touchdown. And so it was a late night for everybody and an early morning for Torey Lovello. Was having some work done on the house. The jackhammers were there at 9 a.m.
Nice.
Oh yeah, stay hot. So here's Souza. Severino takes over behind the plate for Wieters. Steven 2 for 15 to start his D-backs career. He's singled twice and walked 3 times in the 2 games in LA. Steven has always been a guy that has an excellent batting eye and can be a pretty disciplined hitter. So there might be a point where he moves up in the lineup. He's a guy you could, if you wanted to, like Bryce Harper, bat leadoff. He could bat second. He can bat fifth like he is tonight. He got some flexibility there.
And what I like about Steven Souza Jr. and the Dodgers, he immediately inserted himself into this rivalry.
Didn't he, though? Well, it likely trickled back to that play we saw here at Chase Field when Chase Utley came in on Nick Ahmed. And Souza was out there looking for some payback. Just a message to say it didn't go unnoticed. Not trying to hurt anybody. In the air right field for Harper. Taylor drifting over there. Bryce Harper will take it. 1 away.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Well, Ketel Marte just trying to get it going. 214 and a home run. Torrey was telling us today that Ketel behind the scenes has been working extremely hard, trying to get that swing right. Yesterday was a really good day for him. Couple of singles against the Dodgers in LA. And hopefully that'll get him going. There's a curveball that missed. Hendrick at second. That's 4 in a row set down by Roark. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. He walked and hit it inside the park home run in LA last night. Scored twice. Kike Hernandez almost knocked himself out into the wall. And Nick turned in the 15th inside the park home run in D-backs history.
Fastest inside the park home run this season. I mean, to his credit, Nick hit that ball a long way to center field off the very top of the wall, but he was busting it out of the batter's box right away, which gave him the opportunity to turn it into an inside the parker.
Yeah, you saw Yasiel Puig had to come all the way over from right field to pick up the ball in front of Hernandez and throw it in there. Nick was just barely safe. That was just 2 batters into the ball game last night. And you thought, oh, here we go again, another wild one. But finally, we're through the Dodgers. 12 times in the first 36 games is just way too much. And I think it turned into seriously a real disadvantage for the pitchers. Corbin and Godley. LA has gotten plenty of looks at those guys.
Yeah, when a third of your games come against the same opponent, you're going to get real familiar real quick.
But we're back home here for 4 against Washington and then 3 against the Milwaukee Brewers starting on Monday. So we'll start to see some new faces. There's a little tapper to shortstop. Trey Turner cleans that one up. And Roark set down 5 in a row. Through 2, no score. D-backs and Nats.
Throwback Thursday here at Chase Field as the Diamondbacks celebrate the 2001 World Series. I had a chance to talk to some of the players about where they were when the big hit around the world happened. Many of them, well, they were kids. They said they were playing in their own Little League games. But for Torey Lovello, he was at a Lakers game. He said He thought the game was over when he heard Mariano was coming into the game, so he went and sat down in his seat, and then the crowd erupted in a great big cheer. He found out the Diamondbacks won it, and he was especially happy to find out it was Luis Gonzalez with the big hit, because the two of them played together back in Alaska. And I know you guys are going to have a chance to talk to Gonzo in the next inning, so you'll have to see exactly what went down that year in Alaska, the summer in Alaska with Tori and Luis.
That sounds like a reality TV show, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Gonzo lost in the wild. Just follow the tracks. Here's Andrew Stevenson, the left fielder.
Well, obviously the 20th anniversary season of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we've been having a lot of fun with it this year. We encourage the fans to have some fun with it. Go to dbacks.com and you can vote for your favorites for the all-time Diamondbacks 20th anniversary team.
The deadline is coming up. It's May 15th, which is next Tuesday. dbacks.com/20, the number 20. This is chopped to second base. Ketel Marte. So it's dbacks.com/20. The deadline is Tuesday, and you can vote for your favorite D-backs of all time at each position, and you can pick different numbers at each spot. For example, we're looking for 3 outfielders from this list. There's some tough choices there.
Yeah, tough choices. I take the guys with the rings. I'll take Finley and Gonzalez right away off of that list. Danny Batista and David DeLucci both were kind of 3.5, 4th outfielders for the Diamondbacks back in the day. So I'm going to go with AJ as my 3rd outfielder.
I like it. There are no wrong answers. That's the beauty of this thing. Harper pops it up away from the shift, and Descalso collects that one.
Yeah, that's the reality. I mean, just because we pop that list up there of candidates doesn't mean you have to vote for one of those guys. If you have a favorite, somebody, Brett Brady, somebody that played here briefly, but he was one of your favorites, then by all means vote for him.
And we encourage you to all participate. You saw it right there. dbacks.com/20. The deadline is May 15th, next Tuesday. Trey Turner. He struck out his first time. There's a fastball right down the middle. I would also like to encourage everyone to vote for Bob Brenly. There is a vote for manager of all time. That, based on the results in 01, seems like a no-brainer.
Well, there's some tough choices, though. I'll tell you, I saw Gracie's list of starting pitchers, and certainly you can't go wrong with any of those guys. But you may have a different idea of who fills out your rotation after Randy and Kurt. I kind of just assumed those two guys would be at the top of the starting pitcher list.
It's hard to avoid them, isn't it?
Maybe it's too much of a jump. I don't know.
Steve Gilbert was in here filling out his list. It was just a disaster. He had all kinds of crazy names in there.
Well, that's because Stevie remembers all the crazy names.
Yes, he
He's
does.
been here since the beginning.
He's as old as the building. Change up and in, and it's 2-2. Well, Zach Greinke so far 40 pitches, 28 strikes. He's given up just 2 hits, both singles. He's got 3 strikeouts. Another ball on the ground to Marte at second base. Greinke set down 5 in a row. No score. Chase Field. Market regular season game, live or on demand at home, with the office or on the go with MLB.tv. It includes MLB at Bat Premium that lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. There are blackouts and stuff, so check out MLB.tv for details. Jeff Mathis leads off the bottom of the third against Tanner Roark. Steve Gilbert was in here during the commercial break defending some of his choices. Unfortunately, there was not enough time for him to make any sense at all. And so we play on. 0-2. There's a lot of tough calls up and down this list.
Yeah.
Just about every spot. Like, do you go with first base, for example, Goldie or Gracie? That's a tough one. There's other guys on there as well. Every position has a really tough decision. I mean, second base, you could go Jay Bell, O-Dog, Aaron Hill, Kelly Johnson, Gene Segura, Junior Spivey. That's a tricky one. Mathis strikes out. Second strikeout for Roark. Well, you can see the whole ballot for yourself at dbacks.com/20. And the voting deadline is coming up on Tuesday. Here's the pitcher, Zach Greinke.
You mentioned that second base race. That's a tough one, even for me. I said I'll take the guys with the rings. Well, there's two of them on the list. Actually, three of them counting Junior Spivey. Yeah. Well, as tough as a decision as it was, I settled on somebody at second base.
Interesting.
And you know, everybody's requirements are a little different. I took into consideration not only what the guy had done on the field, but also his contributions to this organization very early on.
Well, belay that order. Here's the list of second base candidates, and this is a really tricky call. Everybody is deserving. There's no one guy that jumps way out ahead of the pack. All good players, all contributed. Trey Turner at shortstop. So let's end the suspense. Who'd you go for at second base?
I went with Jay Bell. I mean, you know, he hit $1 million home run for Guylene Hoyle, played great defense at second base, had some pop at a position where you don't usually see power numbers. But for me, Jay Bell, along with Matt Williams, gave instant credibility to an expansion franchise. A couple of veteran players, true professional players that knew how to teach young players how to play the game. And that's something the Diamondbacks desperately needed when they first got started. And Jay Bell, along with Matt Williams, and later many other veterans that joined the ball club. But Jay and Matty were really the first two to kind of establish what this team was going to be.
See, I like the thinking that went into that, because it's not just the numbers and stuff. There are other factors involved. Franchise credibility, getting things established here at Baseball in the Valley. A lot of things to consider.
Oh, yeah. You know, and for me, Craig Counsell, you could put him at short, third, and second, because I played him everywhere.
2-0 on David Peralta. There's Roark nibbling with that two-seamer. And he's fallen behind 3-0. Descalso on deck. He's got the only D-backs hit. That time he got the bottom of the zone with it. Curveball from Roark. That's a good example of the way he mixes things up, Bob, like you were speaking about earlier. Got the four-seamer, the two-seamer, the curveball, the slider, the change. This is the curveball.
And he'll mix in just about any of those pitches in almost any count to any hitter.
Full count, 3-2. Swing and bunt. Here comes Rendon. Peralta is aboard.
The old swing and bunt. Anthony Rendon had just backed up into a deep defensive position at third base, and David chops that ball down the line, realizes if I get down that line, I got a chance to get me an infield hit, and he legs it out.
The freight train busts it up the line. That ends the stretch of 7 straight retired by Tanner Roark. Here's Descalso, who singled in the first. Boy, for Daniel Descalso, what a stretch it's been. Last 16 games, he's hit .385. They're going to keep an eye on Peralta down there. Dave McKay coaching at first.
I think all the pickoff throws we see to first base when the Diamondbacks get a runner on over there is based on history. Diamondbacks haven't run that much this year. A.J. Pollock leads the team with 8 steals. But yeah, a couple of years ago and last year they were very aggressive, especially early in the season, stealing second, stealing third, double steals.
Gets it up in the air for Harper in right field, drifting over near the line. We'll head to the 4th inning, and when we come back, we'll talk about the 2001 World Series champs. Gonzo in the booth after this. dbacks.com/20. There's that number again. Let me type it in here. GONZ. How many Z's? He's making me vote for him. Yeah. Luis Gonzalez is with us.
Good to see you guys.
That was just a bit.
A bit?
Yeah, we're just doing a bit there.
Oh, okay.
You weren't really making me do that. But did you vote for yourself?
I did not. I haven't voted. I need to get out there and vote, right?
You got to rock the vote, Gonzo.
That's it.
dbacks.com/20. Deadline is next Tuesday. We saw you down on the field with Gracie, a bunch of other guys. You lead the league in throwing out first pitches
you know
this
what?
year.
Gracie and I, we iced down after. He's got 2. He's right behind me. I'm leading the team in starts. So I'm trying to set an MLB record for ceremonial first pitches this year, it seems like.
Well, you're a ceremonial kind of guy.
At least you're getting them there in the air. Some of the ceremonial first pitches recently haven't been that good.
The key is get real close and then just do the dart throw right to the plate. So
What do you think of this all-time team ballot? Have you had a chance to peruse?
I've seen some of the positions and stuff. Man, there's so many great players that have come through here in such a short period of time. 20 years. I mean, we've had just a lot of players that have impacted this organization in short time, and then some guys that have been here a lot longer.
1-2 on Anthony Rendon. Well, Zach Greinke's retired 6 in a row. He's got 4 strikeouts.
I don't think I've ever asked you this, Gonzo. Obviously, for me being a first-year manager, it was a big deal. Winning a World Series.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
You know, yourself and Matty and Jay and Reggie Sanders and Steve Finley, all the veterans on that team, it had to feel extra special.
Well, it did. It was a great mix. I mean, you were a huge part of that. Berthiaume paid me to say that, but
it's another bit.
I paid him, yeah.
No, seriously, from day one, you know, we knew you from being in the broadcast booth and stuff, but then when you stepped out on the field, it was a different side that we got to see. We knew you as the player and then up here working as a broadcaster, but then when you went in the dugout, it was, okay, I'm back to putting on the uniform again. I feel like one of the boys, and it was just a lot of fun, man. From day one, of course, we had some differences out there in the middle of the field in practice a couple times, but you were great at, all right, let's get one more and get it out of here. Let's go. And I think one of the keys for that team was you didn't want to be out there longer than what we had to. Let's get it done. We get it done right, and I think that kind of motivated a lot of guys to go out there and say, hey, man, this guy, he wants us to go out there and play hard each and every day, and it carried over to the field.
Well, you can check out the ballots again, dbacks.com/20. The outfielders are a tough call. Bob made his selections. He went with A.J. Pollock and the 2 guys that got the rings.
Well, there's a lot of great players on that list. A.J.'s been doing fantastic since he's been here. It's going to be, you know, I'm sure it's going to be close.
Well, Matt Adams hits one near the right field corner, and it drifts into the seats out of play. Boy, this guy, anytime he gets the ball up in the air, you get nervous.
You got to be careful. He's a big, strong kid. You talk about the drills in spring training, and the thing that really struck me was, what am I going to tell Mark Grace and Matt Williams about bunt defense that they don't already know?
My favorite one was the pop-up drill when we couldn't catch. We literally, I mean, you had a lot of years out there of experience. We couldn't catch a ball out there.
Was that Yuma?
No, it was in spring training, just in a regular pop-up priority drill.
This is a ball hit deep to left center field. Peralta just shy of the track, and he's got it 2 down.
Yeah, we've told that story in the past. Real bright sunlight in the morning, not a cloud in the sky, and nobody could catch a pop-up.
Nothing.
I mean, they just kept falling on the ground, one after another after another. And finally, I told Glenn Sherlock, who was feeding the machine, hey, the next one they catch, we're done.
Yeah, guys were yelling at each other out there, and Schilling thought the position guys weren't taking it serious. And hey, everybody's trying out here. We just weren't good.
Howie Kendrick.
Boy, these guys have been playing great all year. You know, tough loss yesterday, but for them to go out there and, you know, they've won just about every series, if not a split somewhere. It's pretty exciting to see what they've done. And they've been able to beat up like the Dodgers.
Yeah,
when they didn't have, you know, all their guys out there. That's when you got to do it. You got to get guys when they're cold and try to run right through there.
You say it all the time, take your breaks where you get them.
Absolutely.
If you miss the other team's ace or one of their star players is on the disabled list, try to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, and in this game, nobody feels sorry for you when you got guys down. They just try to roll you over.
Let's take a look at third base, for example. This is another one where there's a difficult call. All these guys are deserving.
Yeah, a lot of good players there. It's going to be hard not to go with Matt Williams there with the numbers that he's put up and what he's done here. I'm not trying to sway the vote. I'm just kind of saying.
You're allowed to have an opinion, too.
That's right.
You are on the ballot, I'd like to point out.
Now, you know what? To this day, that 2001 team, the 99, 2000, every one of those guys, if you look back at, especially the 2001, you look at that roster, there's still, I would say, a good, you know, 40 to 50% of those guys are still involved in baseball somehow, some way, whether it's coaching or broadcasting or still doing something with baseball out there, and it's pretty neat to see that these guys have all had the love to play in the game and continue to do it.
There's that slow curveball. Greinke has set down 8 straight. He's got 5 strikeouts. More with Gonzo after this.
On this day back in 1999 against the Montreal Expos, Jay Bell went deep to win the ball game. The next day, Luis Gonzalez goes deep to win the ball game. And not to be Trump, Matt Williams said that looks like fun. 3 consecutive walk-off homers against the Expos.
And coincidentally, not ironically, we're here playing the Nationals. Goldie hits one deep to center field. Oh boy. It's just been that kind of a season so far. Speaking of first baseman, as Goldie flies out to start the 4th inning. All right, Gonzo. Gracie or Goldie, pretty much I think it's fair to say it comes down to those 2.
Yeah, I would think so. I think Goldie would probably have the edge for the simple fact that he's been the numbers that he's put up here in the years, but man, it's hard. Gracie was so instrumental in our 2001 team and what he's done here in his short time.
A.J. Pollock.
I've said it many times. If you had to pick somebody to lead off that bottom of the 9th inning against Mariano Rivera, it probably would have been Gracie.
Yeah.
He's either going to squirt one in somewhere, hit a line drive in the gap, draw a walk. Somehow he was going to find a way to get on base.
You know, I honestly would have liked to seen that team playing now in today's generation, because we really didn't have a lot of punch out guys. Everybody, Gracie and
you mean the ball was actually in play? That must be refreshing.
I mean, Gracie and I talk about all the time. In my career, I only struck out 100 times in my rookie year.
Wow.
And Gracie never did it in his career. So, and there was other guys. We've kind of prided ourselves in, hey, man, let's make something happen.
So back up Harper in right field. Oh, Bryce Harper reaches out and snags that one off the bat of Pollock. 2 down. Couple of hard hit balls for the D-backs here in the 4th.
Yeah, and AJ goes down after rounding first base. We saw Matt Wieters leave this game already. AJ drove that ball to the wall out there in right field, and then coming around first base, I'm not sure if he just didn't take a peek down at the bag. Yeah, just slipped right off the top of the base that time.
He's wearing those plastic spikes.
Plastic cleats. Yeah, they just slide right off the top of the bases and home plate.
Well, considering his problems with groin injuries last year, that's a little disconcerting. Here's Steven Souza Jr. There's the accidental check swing foul strike. 0-1.
Man, I like this guy. I just like his intensity the last couple of days, the slides that he did.
What did you make of all that business at Dodger Stadium with the sliding and the whole thing?
I thought they were late slides, but I just love the fact that he wasn't afraid to just pop up and point his finger in the other dugout and let them know that we're not going to be pushed around like it used to be. So
can a little edge help a team like this, like that?
He plays with it, so
yeah.
I love it. But we saw it in spring training. That's what got him hurt out there in right field. He's, you know, the game was out of hand and he killing himself trying to get to a ball. But these are the types of guys that you love having on your team when they go out there and play hard every day.
He does that, certainly. There's not really an off button on Steven Souza Jr.
Now, I'll answer your question. I like guys with an edge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, especially when push comes to shove. You hope it never comes to that. You hope you just go out and play baseball and nothing crazy happens. But, you know, the game of baseball, it usually happens. Somewhere along the line, a hard slide or a fastball up and in, whatever it may be, usually sets things off. And I like having a guy that has a little edge on the team.
Well, we had one in Batista. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't afraid to throw.
Snuck that backdoor two-seamer in there, gets the strikeout. dbacks.com/20. The great Luis Gonzalez. Gonzo, good luck in the voting.
Thanks, guys. I got to get back to voting, guys.
All right.
I'll see you.
See you later.
Card by Gila River Casino. Sign up for the card today.
Yeah, Bob, you're right. This has turned into an impressive pitcher's duel through 4. Each guy's given up only 2 hits, both singles. Greinke's got 5 strikeouts. He's set down 8 straight Nationals. And here's Pedro Severino, who had to take over behind the plate when Matt Wieters injured himself, rounding first after a 2nd inning single. That was the last Washington hit. And Greinke, look at this, 13 of 15 first pitch strikes. There's a big slow slider. He's ahead 0-2.
And the 2 times he went ball 1 on a Nationals hitter, he ran the count to 1-2 after throwing a first pitch ball. So he's been right in the count. 5-0-2 counts. Make that 6-0-2 counts and 3-1-2 counts so far in the game.
Yeah, just filling up the strike zone. Comes back with a fastball. There's the Gold Glover. 9 straight. Retired by Greinke.
He's always in such good fielding position after he lets the ball go. You could see Ketel Marte probably makes that play up the middle of the field. He was shaded that direction, but hey, might as well make the play yourself if you can. And boy, can Zach Greinke flash the leather.
Yeah, last year for the 4th consecutive season, Greinke was a Gold Glove winner in the National League. Here's Michael A. Taylor, a strikeout victim his first time. Here's a slow curveball. He steals strike 1. When you win a Gold Glove, you get to have that gold emblem on the glove for the rest of your career. Here it is. See the gold outline around the red label there. 0-2 now. Boy, Zach Greinke gave up a Harper single to lead it off. Wieters singled with 1 out in the 2nd, and that's been it. 0-2 on Michael A. Taylor. Nice high hop for Marte. Bobbles it, recovers, and throws him out. That's 10 straight retired by Greinke.
Nice job of mixing it up there. Our nationwide vision eye on the game. Big curveball to start the sequence. A hard slider low and away. And then a fastball well off the plate. Got Taylor to chase it. Hit that easy ground ball right to second base.
Tanner Roark, the pitcher, bats 8th for Dave Martinez. Steven Souza Jr. 1, 2, 3, 5th. 11 straight retired by Greinke. No score. D-backs and Nats.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
This summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live, over 300 hours of World Cup coverage. It's the world's biggest sporting event, and it begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Gotta say, Bob, Zach Greinke right now is dealing.
Yeah, unfortunately, so is Tanner Roark. Both guys on top of their game in the early going here tonight. Just got to find a way to get somebody on there, get them on, get them over, get them in.
Only 2 singles for the D-backs against Roark. Descalso in the second, Peralta in the third, and that's been it. Greinke likewise has given up only 2 singles. He set down 11 straight, 5 strikeouts. Marte leads off the D-back 5th. Drops that changeup down there and away. 1-1. Tanner Roark has always pitched well here. 4 career games at Chase Field, 3 starts. He's 2-0 with a 2.05 ERA. He pitched here previously last July, and he had a season high 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, gave up only 3 hits. And he's been pretty dominant so far again tonight. This is in with a fastball.
That's a little bit unusual. We talk all the time about hitters that come into Chase Field and love the batter's eye in center field, put up big numbers here offensively. Rarely do you hear of a pitcher coming in here and putting up good numbers.
Marte starting to come around again. Couple of hits in LA last night. He knocks that into center. A leadoff single.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, this is kind of the way things have gone for Tanner Roark. He's coming off a loss to the Phillies in his previous start last Saturday. And he didn't pitch badly at all there. 3 runs, 6 1/3. He matched a season high 9 strikeouts. But the issue, like it's been tonight, run support. Washington lost that game 3-1. And in Roark's 3 losses this year, the Nationals have scored a total of 5 runs. So he's kind of been the guy that never gets any runs. I mean, this is a guy that's been a kind of a sneaky good pitcher lately, Roark. 2 years ago, he had 16 wins and a 2.83 ERA. That was top 10 among all major league starters.
Well, when you're on a pitching staff that has Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg, you're always going to take 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th billing. But Tanner Roark just quietly goes out there and goes about his business, gets quick outs, gets his team back in the dugout.
You know, he's an interesting story. He was the Friday night starter as a junior at the University of Illinois. But he kind of goofed around and flunked out before he became a senior. So he played independent ball. He was a Southern Illinois minor in the Frontier League, and he went there. Figured, okay, I was a Friday night starter in college. I'm kind of a big deal. He got lit up. And it was a wake-up call for him. He made 3 starts in independent ball, gave up 25 runs in 9 innings.
Wow.
But somehow the Rangers liked what he had done in college. They drafted him in the 25th round, and it was a lesson for Roark, who said, I never ever want to feel like that again, the way I did when I was just getting blasted by teams like the Rockford Riverhawks, thinking I was invincible.
Those Riverhawks can swing it.
Apparently that's the case. There's a fastball in, 1-1. So that was kind of a life lesson for him. Trying to crowd Nick Ahmed in there with fastballs. He didn't go, says the Cowboy at first. It's 2-1. Roark keeps moving that 2-seam fastball all over the plate, in and out, up and down. Coming back in here. Missed with a slider. It's the bottom of the 5th inning, and neither team has had a runner reach second base in the ball game yet. A pitcher's duel. Well, it is a Throwback Thursday, celebrating the 0-1 team. I guess pitching was kind of a theme with that group. Boy, Nick looks at a fastball right down Main Street there. Full count, 3-2. Marte holds it first. This is in the hole for Turner. Backhands it. Jump throw. And he got him. Trey Turner can play himself some shortstop. Let's look at the at-bat there to Ahmed.
Our nationwide vision eye on the game. They kept trying to crowd him inside with fastballs. 3 times they go in there before throwing a slider off the plate low and away. Another fastball right down the middle on the 3-1, and then comes back with a breaking ball to get that ground ball to short. Nice play by Turner with the jump throw to get Nick at first.
The catcher Jeff Mathis, a strikeout victim his first time. Roark has punched out 3 so far tonight. Jeff has Ketel Marte at second and 1 out. Now Roark wants a visit from Severino. Remember, Wieters was not the catcher that, or Wieters was the catcher that started this ball game. Had to leave with an injury. Severino came on in the second inning.
And Mike Butcher, the pitching coach for the Diamondbacks, he got in late last night with everybody else at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's celebrating a birthday today. Happy 53rd birthday to Mike Butcher.
Just don't get him another one of those boombox things.
Oh, please.
He brings that on the bus. We got to talk to him about his musical taste. Early 70s soft rock stuff. Now Roark wants to go through the signs again here. Nibbling down and away with that fastball.
I was just going to say, we just had the Houston Astros in town, and it was remarkable when you compared the two pitching staffs as a unit, how closely the Houston Astros and the Arizona Diamondbacks were on the pitcher rankings. Well,
that's out of play.
Same thing can be said for the Nationals and the Diamondbacks offensively. You see where they rank? Opponent's batting average, opponent's OPS, strikeouts per 9, whip. Yeah, that's all pitching ranks. I'm sorry, got my graphics mixed up, but yeah, both teams at the top of the National League in all the important categories.
A lot of those pitchers on display in this 4-game series. Max Scherzer tomorrow, Strasburg on Saturday. Former D-back Jeremy Hellickson gets the start on Sunday. Boy, Hellickson was flirting with a perfect game the other night. 2-1 on Mathis. Greinke the pitcher on deck. Floats a breaking ball out there. Jeff's ahead 3-1. Neither starting pitcher has walked a batter in the ball game. Roark at 65 pitches, 40 strikes. Fly ball for Harper in right field. Marte's at second, and he'll hold there.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Well, we've seen Zach swing the bat a bit this year, looking for a 2-out RBI knock. I think last time we saw him in this spot, he just knocked a double down the line in right field. First base runner to reach second base in the game for each team.
Seems funny to talk about a pitcher and his strengths as a hitter, but I think Zach Greinke's a good high ball hitter. Seems like most of the hits I can remember him getting this season have come on pitches that were up and out over the plate.
Starts him out with 2 slow curveballs, 1-1. D-backs 24-12, the best record in the National League. They started tonight 3.5 games ahead of the Rockies for the NL West lead. Colorado right now hosting Milwaukee, and the Brewers have a 5-2 lead at Coors Field. They're in the 7th inning. Milwaukee's in here for 3 starting on Monday. Fastball got the corner, down and away. It's 2-2. Checking in with Mark Ripperger. Peralta would be next. Mark Ripperger back there, a little more of a strike caller than most umpires you'll see. He will call low pitches strikes more often than other guys, especially with a right-hand hitter up there like Greinke is right now. You saw that on the previous pitch. Two and two. Greinke knocks it into left. Here comes Marte. Zach Greinke, a 2-out RBI knock, and it's 1-0 D-backs.
Slider, he gets off the end of the bat, gets just enough of it to get it over the head of Anthony Rendon into left field for an RBI base hit. Boy, the Diamondbacks have been starving for some hits with runners in scoring position. They were 3 for their last 18 with runners in scoring position. One of those was Daniel Descalso's home run at Dodger Stadium on Tuesday.
Peralta singled his last time up. Greinke takes off. Hey, he's in there. Well, he's worked 5 scoreless innings so far. He's got a 2-out RBI single and now a stolen base.
Zach had such a big jump, like a lot of the Diamondbacks runners, he couldn't believe it. I can't have this big of a jump, so he stops, starts again, and still makes it to second base safely ahead of the throw.
I'm way out here. Something must be wrong.
Something's wrong. I shouldn't be this far off the base.
That's a Dave McKay special. So a chance for Peralta to get another run home. Sixth career stolen base for Zach Greinke. He's a perfect 6 for 6.
How about that?
The element of surprise. Slider, Roark left it up. 1-2. David, with his 3rd inning single tonight, has now hit safely in 4 straight. Trying to get Zach Greinke home from second with 2 outs. Kendrick at second collects that one on the outfield grass, and we're through 5. Zach Greinke, an RBI single, has made it 1-0 D-backs. All smiles.
on top of his game tonight. Thrown 64 pitches in the ball game, 47 of those for strikes. He's already recorded 12 swings and misses in this ball game on a variety of pitches. He's had easy contact, a couple of punch outs here and there, 7 0-2 counts. 8 is his season high for 0-2 counts, so he's one away from that.
No walks, 5 strikeouts. He's set down 11 straight through 5 scoreless, and he's turned in our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing. Cool plays of the game. The 2-out RBI single to give the D-backs the lead, and then he takes off for second. Take a look at this.
Ultimately had a 20-foot leadoff over there at first base when he decided that might be a little bit too much, so he stopped, started again, and still ended up stealing the base.
Well, most importantly, Bob, of all the numbers that you just handed out, the pitch count, 64 through 5 innings, so the bullpen in good shape here. But it's still only 1-0. Andrew Stevenson, the left fielder, who grounded out his first time up, leads off the Washington 6th. And there's a first pitch curveball, 0-1. Back-to-back curveballs.
Did you see the way Zach Greinke jumped off that mound to the first base side? When he throws an off-speed pitch, whether it's a changeup or that big slow curveball, on his follow-through, he always ends up shifting to the first base side of the field because that's where the hitter, a left-handed hitter, is most likely to hit an off-speed pitch. That's why you win Gold Gloves. Just little things like that. Just a little 3 or 4 foot adjustment putting you in a better fielding position than you would have been if you stayed directly in line to home plate.
Hard changeup, and he strikes out Stevenson, number 6. Bryce Harper now led off the game with a single. He popped up his last time up. D-backs put 3 infielders on the right-hand side. Harper leading the National League with 12 home runs. But counting tonight, just 3 for his last 27 at the plate. He's also, Bryce Harper, leading the major leagues in walks. He was walking almost twice per game in April. That's when he was hitting 3rd in the order, but as the leadoff man here in May, he's walked only twice all month long. More aggressive in the leadoff spot, maybe. Spots a fastball and it's 2-1. D-backs did a good job with Bryce Harper in our 3-game set at Nats Park last month. He was just 2 for 10, couple of singles. And he walked 4 times, twice intentionally in that 3-game series. Muscles this one out to left field. It backs up Peralta. 13 in a row set down by Zach Greinke.
Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. How do you pitch one of the best hitters in the game? You start him with back-to-back changeups. He took both of those for balls, and then a couple of fastballs out on the outside corner. The last one at 92 to get that fly ball to the warning track for David Peralta.
Trey Turner has struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. First pitch curveball. Boy, Greinke so often during the course of a ball game will stop and just glance behind him to either side over his shoulder to check his defenders. This is in with a change up there. Kind of a frisbee slider in on Turner's hands. 2-2.
That's a devastating pitch. If a pitcher could figure out how to throw this whenever he wanted, he'd probably never give up a hit. A backup slider. It just never really took the break down low and away from the right-handed hitter. It just kind of spun up there and stayed in the same place.
High hopper for Marte. Collects it. You got to hurry to get Turner. 14 in a row set down by Greinke, who leads it 1-0.
Tickets for as low as $19. The first 10,000 moms to this Sunday's 5 o'clock game will get a D-backs tote bag courtesy of bubbly sparkling water. Check it out at dbacks.com/mom.
Daniel Descalso leads off the D-backs 6th inning against Tanner Roark. Looks at a curveball for strike one. Descalso singled and flied out. He's 1 for 2. Most of the NL West in action tonight. Mentioned the Rockies are trailing at home against Milwaukee 5-2 in the 8th inning. Dodgers getting the Cincinnati Reds. Walker Buehler on the mound tonight. He leads at 1-0 over Cincinnati. They're in the 3rd. Padres hosting the Cardinals. It's 1-0 St. Louis. 4th inning at Petco Park. And the Giants losers at Philadelphia 6-3. Descalso, Goldie Pollock 2, 3, and 4 here in the bottom of the 6th against Tanner Roark, who's thrown 80 pitches so far tonight, 50 for strikes. Broken bat roller. Matt Adams has it. Well, Goldie last time up when we were chatting with Gonzo in the 4th inning hit a ball deep to center field, kind of died out there. And that's the way things have gone lately. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight.
Just hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark. Chased Michael A. Taylor all the way back to that 407 mark in straightaway center.
Goldie gone, not for a while. He's only homered 4 times all year. Good slider there from Roark. 0-1. Last inning, the 5th inning, was really the only time Roarks had to work hard in this ball game. 14 pitches in the first, 11 in the second, 16 in the third. He had a 9-pitch fourth, but labored through 26 pitches in that 5th inning. Showing no ill effects, a high fastball, and he strikes out Goldie.
Hey fans, Memorial Day is right around the corner. Stay cool inside air-conditioned Chase Field as the D-backs host the Reds for a 1 o'clock start. The first 20,000 fans will get the D-back camo cap courtesy of Sanderson Ford. Visit dbacks.com for tickets.
A.J. Pollock 0 for 2.
Gotta have that camo cap. Fish can't see you if you wear that hat.
Fool him. Although I guess you'd have to be wearing a watercolored hat to really get him.
Fish aren't that smart, you know. They eat worms, for crying out loud.
You see the Washington defense, they overload the left-hand side. I predicted early on the camo cap would be the sneaky popular giveaway item of the year.
It usually is.
It's a cool looking hat, man.
Kind of flies under the radar with the Archie Bradley audio baubles and the Jake Lamb with livestock bauble.
That was a memorable one.
Yeah,
sure.
that camo cap just kind of slides under the radar, but everybody wants one.
Giveaways get more and more popular. The Mets have a giveaway item coming up. It's a Mr. Met Star Wars bobblehead night. And Mr. Met is in the Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca piloting Han Solo's spaceship.
Wow.
I know that means a lot to you personally.
Pretty
but
much covered all the bases, I think. Yeah.
Pop culture explosion. Now that's going to become a must-have item. Mr. Met flying the Millennium Falcon, which made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Really? I didn't think anybody would ever do it in less than 12.
Trey Turner, maybe. 1 and 2. Little squib shot on the 2-2. Nice convenient roll for Big City. We'll head to the 7th inning. Pitchers duel, 1-0 D-backs. D-backs lead the Nationals 1-0. Fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile devices. Use Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona. And AJ and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Zach Greinke has given up only 2 hits, both singles. He's not walked a batter. He's got 6 strikeouts, and he's retired the last 14 Nationals batters he's faced. Anthony Rendon leads off the Washington 7th. This is the sharp end of the stick here. Rendon, Adams, Kendrick 3, 4, and 5. And here's a fly ball deep to left field. Peralta at the wall, and he's got just enough room.
My partner, wasn't so long ago that we saw Garrett Cole come in here with the Houston Astros and punch out a whole bunch of Diamondbacks hitters and look dominating in doing it. Zach Greinke is every bit as dominating tonight without the strikeout pitch. Garrett Cole had everything working. He could get swing and miss on sliders, on fastballs, on changeups. Zach Greinke pitches to soft contact. He's not going to record a lot of strikeouts. He's not going to walk anybody, but pitches to soft contact in a dominating way.
And as a result, the pitch count is still under 80 here through 6 1/3. Matt Adams 0 for 2. Adams is their hot hitter right now. 7 homers and 14 RBIs in 9 games this month. Got to be careful here. Change up right at the knees. There's that Mark Ripperger low strike. That was in there though. 1-1. A look at the D-backs defense. .80 pitches, 57 strikes. Jammed him. Foul ground to Scalzo, the only guy over there. 2 down. Let's go down to Kate.
Well, guys, with these two teams facing off against each other in as many weeks, I was talking to the pitchers and they said this becomes a little bit more of a chess match, if you will. Zach Greinke out there, we know he always goes in with a very detailed game plan, but tonight might be a little different than when he first faced the Nationals at Washington. Tonight now he's wondering if the hitters know what he's going to throw, so then he's trying to decide, do I throw what they know or do I go with something else? So the pitcher said it can get a little tricky. It could play a little mind games on him when you start to face opponents so close together.
Well, that was certainly the case, Kate, for Patrick Corbett and Zach Godley in our series this week at Dodger Stadium. Greinke 2 outs on 4 pitches in the first 2 batters. Here in the 7th, but now he's 1-1 on Kendrick, who's 0 for 2.
You've heard me say it before, partner. He thinks that I think that he thinks that I think I'm going to throw a fastball here, so I'm going to cross him up and throw something else. You can really get into some mind games when you're facing a team twice in a 2-week period.
Well, as we know, it's never easy against Howie Kendrick, who, for whatever reason, has always killed the D-backs. 84 pitches, 60 strikes, ahead of Kendrick 1-2. Howie Kendrick is a .441 career hitter in this ballpark. 18 games here. Slider missed, 2-2. Kendrick with Severino, the catcher, on deck. 5 for 13 against the D-backs when we were at Nats Park last month. Lifts this one in the air, right center field. AJ on the run. Souza! He can't hang on, and Kendrick's got a double. That's right in the same spot where we saw Chris Owings and AJ Pollock collide not too long ago.
That ball slicing away from AJ the entire time, back to Souza, who got a glove on it, but when he rolled over on the turf, it just popped out the webbing of the glove. Very nearly a great defensive catch out there, just couldn't hang on.
And that looked exactly, and I mean exactly, like the play on which he hurt himself against the Giants in spring training when he suffered that right pectoral strain. He landed in almost the same spot in exactly the same way. So that injury gets a real test right here.
Both those guys tremendously accomplished defenders, and I think very quickly AJ realized the way that ball was slicing, he was probably not going to get to it in time. Souza, the only one that could possibly make a play, and as we saw, had it in the glove, just couldn't hang on.
Well, the Nationals, for the first time tonight, with 2 outs in the 7th, get a runner to second base. Here's the catcher, Pedro Severino. Kendrick is the tying run down there with 2 outs. Boy, he always finds a way. It's unbelievable. Sliders a strike, 0-1. Well, it's very simple in black and white here. Greinke has dominated. Trying to get out of this inning. He had retired 16 straight before the Kendrick double, and now he's ahead of Severino 0-2. Reaches out and pops it up. Goldie and Marte. Goldie's got it. Zach Greinke 7 scoreless, only 3 more than the minimum, and he leads it 1-0. Souza Jr. out there in right center field, and he'll lead off the home half of the 7th against Tanner Roark.
It's very clear his teammates and coaches really appreciate the effort, knowing what he went through in spring training, still out there throwing his body around trying to make plays.
Here's Souza 0 for 2. Fans, a reminder to see exclusive D-backs content and coverage. Stay connected and informed on social media. Be sure to follow and like Fox Sports Arizona on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the whole thing. Sousa's flied out and struck out. Nationals bullpen will start to get busy now with Roark over 90 pitches. Some stirring down there. Sean Kelly, the right-hander. Lays off a slider. 2-1. Well, that's a good eye right there. I mentioned that Steven Souza Jr. is a guy you could potentially hit higher in the order because he does have really good plate discipline. He was top 5 in the American League in walks last year with the Tampa Bay Rays. He walked 3 times in the 2 games at Dodger Stadium this week. 3-1. Big cut at that changeup. Full count, 3-2.
So much for the obvious fastball counts. 3-1 pitch from Tanner Roark. Pulled the string on that changeup and got the swing and a miss.
Those, it seems, have gone the way of the dinosaurs.
Pretty much, yeah. You'll occasionally catch a pitcher out there that will challenge you 2-0, 3-1.
Here comes Harper from right field.
So many pitchers nowadays have confidence in their secondary stuff to throw a breaking pitch or a changeup in those 2-0, 3-1 counts.
Ketel Marte singled to lead off the 5th and scored the game's only run on Zach Greinke's 2-out RBI knock. Greinke later swiped second base. He's done it all tonight. When watching Tanner Roark, Bob, it kind of reminds me of a short Russell brother. Paul or Rick, take your pick. Sort of just physically.
Now, Roark threw more breaking balls to one hitter than Big Daddy would in an entire ball game sometimes. Rick Russell, he's just pounding that sinker in there 80 or 90 times a game.
He's pitched a terrific ball game here tonight. Tanner Roark out of Wilmington, Illinois. Two and two on Ketel Marte. Trying to throw a slider there, maybe.
Looked like it hit his pants.
Hit Mark Ripperger.
It definitely hit Ripperger. I think it clipped his pants. We're going to take a look.
You can challenge hit by pitch, and the headsets will go on. In a 1-0 game, 7th inning, you're going to go for every thread here, and they may have found the right one. Comes Joe West to talk to New York.
Now watch the pants leg. Pulls that pitch way inside, and yeah, right there. Got the left pants leg down there near the ankle, and then the home plate umpire.
Looked like nothing but fabric, at least on Ketel. Ripperger got the worst of that one. And boy, that's pretty decisive. They're going to put him at first base. So 12 challenges by the D-backs this year. 8 times they've been successful.
That's the best kind of hit by pitch. It didn't even put a wrinkle in his uniform. Marte will head on down to first base. Scored the only run in this game, as you mentioned, on the Zach Greinke base hit back in the 5th inning.
Make it 13-9 now. 13 challenges, 9 successful. Roark at 100 pitches, 62 strikes. So Marte aboard for the 2nd time tonight. Here's Ahmed 0 for 2. Boy, got a changeup way up and in on the hands. Kind of tomahawk that foul. It's 0-2.
I think a lot of hitters do that on off-speed pitches up in the zone, whether it's a slow breaking ball or a changeup that happens to stay up there letter high. It's tough to take that pitch.
Got to be, right? It's just kind of sitting there for you.
Yeah, you can see it so well.
And especially for Nick, the way he swung the bat much more aggressively this year. He's really having problems with that slider now. That's the pitch with which he hit Marte on the pant leg. That one got away from him. Left-hander Sammy Solis joins the righty Sean Kelly in the Washington bullpen with Henry Blanco, the bullpen coach back there. Is he on the list? Top 20?
I don't believe he made the list.
There's no Hank White on there.
We're going to have him as a bullpen coach. 20th anniversary team.
I like that. It's a nice synergy there. So Lease and Kelly. Got another one of those changeups. That one hard though at 88. Speaking of D-backs all-time list, don't forget the all-time team ballot. The deadline for voting is next Tuesday, May 15th. dbacks.com/20 to cast your vote. Here are the catcher choices. That's another tricky one.
Nah, not for me.
Well, I wouldn't think so.
I'll tell you, Damian Miller was a very underrated member of that 01 team. He's been a very underrated member of every team he's ever been on. Just a tremendously intelligent thinking catcher back there behind the plate. Not only catching RJ and Schill and the great staffs we had here in Arizona, but then he went to the Cubs and caught Wood and Pryor and all those great pitchers, Matt Clement, that they had going there in Chicago for a while. And they give a lot of the credit to Damian Miller as well. He's my guy.
Well, we just saw Mark Pryor in LA, now the Dodgers bullpen coach. Nick battling here 2-2. Right at Kendrick, and Marte is back in time. Jeff Mathis. Well, Greinke's spot is up next. He's coming out in the on-deck circle. Bullpen is quiet for the D-backs. Greinke at 89 pitches through 7 scoreless innings. Broken bat. Turner drifting out there from shortstop. We head to the 8th. It's 1-0 D-backs. His 3 losses this year, the Nationals have scored a total of 5 runs. He was just outstanding here tonight. But it looks like he's done with his spot coming up third in this inning, trailing 1-0. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Max Scherzer. Just about the best in the business. The former D-back on the mound here tomorrow night against Matt Cook, who's been outstanding for the D-backs. A 2.13 ERA in 4 starts. D-backs live pregame show follows will precede our game, obviously. And there is Max Scherzer. D-backs still did not have a starter for Saturday's game here against Steven Strasburg.
What about Matt Cook? His last 3 draws have been Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander, and tomorrow he gets Max Scherzer.
And it's funny, those first 2, they won the game, the Diamondbacks. Michael A. Taylor. D-backs live pregame show is at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And a 6:40 start. "90 pitches, 65 strikes. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Peralta's in the corner. Taylor's got a double, his 8th this year. And he's the tying run. Archie Bradley is starting to get loose in the bullpen. This is the deepest Zach Greinke has gone into a ball game all year.
Thought we might see Dave Martinez send Tanner Roark up there to try to put down a sacrifice bunt and keep him in the ball game, but instead it'll be Wilmer Defoe off the bench to take the at bat for Tanner Roark.
And Defoe is a hot hitter as of late. Torey Lovello's got Archie Bradley in the bullpen. Zach Greinke outstanding here. 7 scoreless innings. He's given up only 4 hits. He's not walked a batter. He struck out 6. And at one point tonight, Greinke retired 16 straight. You saw the sign from Mike Fetters, the bullpen coach. Bradley is ready. No signal as of yet.
Yeah, I thought he did. He kind of gave it a hook shot. He reached up over his head and pointed down toward the bullpen.
So here comes the Beard. Greinke was brilliant tonight. He leaves leading 1-0. Zach Greinke responsible for the tying run at second base. It's Michael A. Taylor. And his faded now in the hands of Archie Bradley, his 20th appearance this year. Archie 10 straight scoreless outings. Wilmer Defoe, the switch hitter, will bat for the pitcher Roark. Squares to bunt, pulls back, takes strike 1. Defoe's bat has really come to life lately. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 11 games. Both those homers have come in his last 8 games. And he is much better from the left-hand side than from the right. Squares to bunt again.
Oh my.
That fastball was in there, but Mark Ripperger says no. 1-1.
A lot of things going on there at home plate. Defoe showing bunt. Occasionally you'll get that bat out there and block the vision of the catcher and or the umpire. And that time Jeff Mathis with a little jump as he received that pitch. He was having trouble seeing it. That was actually in the zone, but nothing Jeff could do about framing it and making it look good. He just trying to catch it.
Both corners playing in for the D-backs. Fastball's low and it's 2-1.
That's something a lot of people probably don't realize. In a bunt situation like this, when that batter sticks the bat out there in the hitting zone, it blocks the catcher's vision of the pitch. Ooh. You'll see guys raise up to try to look over the bat or squat way down and try to look underneath the bat just to see that pitch coming to home plate.
Archie keeps missing low with fastballs, and it's 3-1. Defoe 2 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year. The left fielder Stevenson on deck.
Defoe does have 1 sack bunt this season, 6 on his career.
Descalso near the bag at third. Goldie even with the bag at first. Ahmed sneaking into second. How about those kicks on Archie?
Something new every time he goes out to the mound.
He is a fashionista. Got the teal laces. Gets the bunt down. Bradley's on it. And they move Taylor to third.
Pretty nice job by Wilmer Defoe. When you're trying to put down a bunt and everybody in the ballpark expects you to put down a bunt, that's the toughest time to put down a good one, and he did. Archie only had to play at first base.
And now 1-0. Tying run at third, 8th inning, 1 out. Infield comes in. Stevenson 0 for 2. Taylor has terrific speed down there at third. There's a first pitch knuckle curveball. He balked in the tying run. Marty Foster at third. He wanted to go over there. Descalso was not on the bag, and it's a 1-1 ball game.
If he throws with the initial step, I think he's okay. Descalso was moving to cover the bag at third base. You don't necessarily have to be standing on the base. You just have to be moving toward the base. But when Archie lifted that front foot, Daniel was just standing stationary at his defensive position. Archie stepped with the right foot, or left foot rather, and then stepped off the rubber, which is a balk. And that's one of those cases, trying to do a little bit too much.
1-2 on Stevenson. Greinke was just flat out dominant tonight, but will not get the win. Here's a broken bat flare that dunks into center. And suddenly everything going the Nationals' way. Well, this reminds you of last night as Harper comes up. When things got ugly for the D-backs bullpen at Dodger Stadium. 2 runs for LA scored on wild pitches, another with a hit batter and the bases loaded. And now Bradley has balked home the tying run here in the 8th. Harper singled in the first against Greinke, 1 for 3. Jumps on the first pitch, pops it up. Here comes Peralta, shallow left center, still drifting in. 2 outs. Trey Turner 0 for 3. D-backs will have the pitcher spot leading off in the home half, then Peralta and Descalso. 9-1-2.
Diamondbacks perhaps thinking that Stevenson might try to steal his way into scoring position here with 2 outs in the inning. Even if he would happen to get thrown out at second base, you'd have Trey Turner leading off in the 9th inning, which is not a bad leadoff man.
Now Stevenson's got center fielder type speed. Close at first, safe, says Joe West. Another quick move over there. Tim Bogar coaching at first. Final in Colorado, Rockies lose to Milwaukee 5-2. Giants 6-3 losers in Philadelphia. Dodgers behind Walker Buehler lead the Reds in LA 1-0. They're in the 6th inning. Padres trailing at home against the Cardinals 2-0 in the 6th. That fastball got the corner, didn't get the call. Sometimes when Archie fires over there to first base, you can see the old Broken Arrow high school quarterback. Just throwing a screen pass out there in the flat. Stevenson takes off, and that's fouled back up here. One and two on Trey Turner. Stevenson holds. Fastball fouled back. Looks like Sammy Solis ready in the Washington bullpen. Trying the curveball that time. 2-2. Anthony Rendon would be next. Stevenson holding, and Turner knocks that into center. He'll stop at second. Turner aboard at first. 2 on and 2 out for Rendon.
Yeah, Turner really made Archie work hard that at bat. Ultimately gets a fastball down and in. Guides it right back up the middle of the field for a clean base hit into center. Stevenson has to stop at second base.
Good hitter up there in Rendon. 0 for 3 tonight. Missed 19 games with that foot problem, a bruised toe. 6 for 18 since he came off the DL. He's hit safely in 4 straight games. Punches that one foul down the right field line. Rendon relatively healthy last year for the 2nd straight season after some serious injury issues earlier in his career. Stevenson is the go-ahead run at second. Turner's aboard at first. 2 outs. 96 up and in. Daniel Descalso at third. And Bradley strands two, but balks in the tying run. Will hit the home half of the eighth, tied at 1.
D-backs Live, presented by CenturyLink, our post-game show. Jody Jackson and Mark Grace. Well, Archie Bradley, we're so used to him locking things down out there. I don't think the one thing we knew we weren't going to see maybe was a balk. I didn't expect that at all. Did you? Archie didn't.
Well, certainly not. And when the offense is in the deep freeze, as it is again tonight, you can't afford any mistakes. And unfortunately, it happened, and we're tied 1-1.
All right, maybe you took it out of the deep freeze. We'll see.
Thank you, guys. Devin Marrero will hit for Bradley to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning against the new pitcher for Washington, the left-hander Sammy Solis, the Valley native. Solis played at Agua Fria High School in Avondale. Actually was drafted by the D-backs in the 18th round out of high school. Chose instead to go to the University of San Diego. That's where Washington got him with a second-round pick in 2010. And he's a big part of this Washington bullpen. "20 strikeouts and 14 innings of work this year. And he works a lot. Marrero 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. 204 on the year. Singled in a start at third base last night in LA. Brad Boxberger. Chased a high fastball at 94, 1 away.
So, Lisa, as you mentioned, 94 on this fastball. He's one of those guys, I think his fastball plays a lot faster than the radar gun shows. Elevated at 94, probably looked like it was about 98 or 100.
Well, here's the reason why he's in there for Dave Martinez. Left-handers Peralta and Descalso coming up. David singled in the third. He's 1 for 3. Shoots that the other way and by Turner into left. A 1-out single for Peralta.
Just a tough lefty. Fastball out over the plate, and David smashes it through that left side.
Well, with the way Daniel Descalso's been swinging the bat lately, you want him up there against anybody, right or left-handed. A single in the first inning against Tanner Roark. He's 1 for 3. Fastball's right there, 0-1. Descalso 12 RBIs in his last 16 games. And during that stretch, he's hit .385.
Daniel Descalso has 6 go-ahead RBIs this season, second on the team behind only A.J. Pollock, who has 12. The 6 go-ahead RBIs are tied for 9th in the National League.
Peralta holding. Curveball missed. Are you a believer in clutch?
Yeah, I am. Certain guys, you just want them up there to the plate with runners on base in a close game. I talk all the time about George Bell in my brief time in Toronto. He was a guy that seemed to me to be a clutch hitter. I'm sure the Blue Jay fans would say that he made a lot of outs with runners on base, but I remember him coming up with a lot of big base hits. They weren't always pretty. They weren't always line drives or home runs or balls in the gap. Just find a way to get that guy on the plate. And Descalso is one of those guys that seems to have a knack for it.
Peralta holding in first. Descalso digs that out. Here comes Taylor. Runs it down in center. David got to hustle back there. 2 outs. A chance for Goldie. 0 for 3 tonight. Dave Martinez to the mound. Pitching change, 8th inning. Go ahead runs aboard. Ryan Madson on his way in. Back after this.
Hey fans, grab your lightsabers. Star Wars Day is June 2nd here at Chase Field. Get the Paul Solo bobble before the D-backs versus Marlins 7 o'clock matchup, courtesy of Cox Communication. Visit dbacks.com/Star Wars.
Only a chance to make a dent in this one here. 2 outs in the 8th inning. Peralta the go-ahead run at first. Ryan Madson, the right-hander. Zoom ball at 97. Madsen can still throw hard. This is a guy that really resurrected his career after missing basically 3 full seasons because of serious injuries, 2012 through 2014. Peralta down there at first. A chance for Goldie here. Had an RBI single in the 7th inning last night. His first run batted in since April 21st. Boy, Madsen's all over the place upstairs. 2-0.
Boy, Goldie back in that 4th inning narrowly missed a home run to straightaway center field. One of the harder hit balls we've seen off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt recently.
Made that Goldie sound. '97 missed for Rippiger, and it's 3-0. AJ on deck. There's your 3-0 fastball. At least you still get fastballs on 3-0 counts.
Sometimes.
Not so much anymore on 2-0, 2-1. What's in store on 3-1 here? '97 right there. Full count, 3-2. There goes Peralta. Got him. Went to a changeup. We'll head to the 9th inning, tied at 1. A big night for Zach Greinke. He was brilliant on the mound and had this 2-out RBI single in the 5th inning to make it 1-0 D-backs. He promptly stole second base, and then Archie Bradley balks in the tying run in the 8th inning after he came on in relief of Greinke, who gave up a leadoff double to Taylor. Bradley balked Taylor home, and that's where we are. Gila River game summary as Brad Boxberger comes out to start the 9th.
Well, certainly Zach Greinke deserved a much better fate. He was outstanding tonight. Didn't walk a batter once again. Was rarely behind in counts all night long, but he'll walk away from this one with a no decision.
And so here is Brad Boxberger, who had the Kike Hernandez home run in the 9th inning the other night in LA, his first blown save of the year. Got to be careful here with Matt Adams, a red hot power hitter. He leads off the Washington 9th. D-backs have 3 infielders on the right side. Adams 0 for 3 tonight. But in 9 games this month, he's hit 7 home runs. This is trying to get to the seats. Nobody's over there but Descalso, and it's out of play. Adams back on April 24th was hitting under 190 for the year. But since then, last 13 games, he's been hitting 405. 20 RBIs in his last 13 games. Missed that one out of play. Boxberger ahead 1-2, and now Descalso and Ahmed, as they do in 2-strike counts, will switch places in the shift. Nick moves back over to his shortstop spot, and Descalso is where the second baseman would be. You see Marte, the second baseman, out there in short right. Hard to first, a funny hop for Goldie, a nice adjustment right there. That took a wicked hop on him at the last moment.
All changeups to Matt Adams until this last fastball, and he pulls it right to Paul Goldschmidt. You saw that big bounce there where those runners take their lead off first base. Eventually it gets chewed up. That took a bad hop that time. Nice adjustment by Goldie.
The dangerous Howie Kendrick doubled his last time up, 1 for 3. One and one. National still without Daniel Murphy. He's not played all year after off-season knee surgery. Kendrick's been the guy at second. 2-1 didn't go, says Joe West. How about this? 18 games for Howie Kendrick in this ballpark. He's hit over 440. Now in his 13th big league season, Howie Kendrick. The catcher Severino on deck. Boxberger behind 3-1. In the hole. Tough play for Ahmed.
Lightning quick release going to the backhand side. Just throws back across his body while he was running toward the third baseline. Puts it right on the money to Goldie across the diamond. Nice play.
2 down for the catcher Pedro Severino. Came on in the second inning after Matt Wieters, who started the game, injured himself on a base hit. Pulled up lame coming around first. So Severino took over behind the plate. He's 0 for 2. There's that low strike from Mark Ripperger. 2-1. D-backs have played 20 games this year, allowing 3 or fewer runs. In those 20 games, they are 17-3. That is belted fair down the left field line. Severino has a 2-out double.
Hanging change up 78 miles an hour, belt high on the inside part of the plate. Fortunate that was just a double. Those are the kind of change ups that usually get hit real hard and real far.
Well, that's almost the exact same type of hit that Michael A. Taylor had his last time up against Zach Greinke when he doubled down the line and was later balked home to tie the game by Archie Bradley. That was the last batter Greinke faced tonight. Good location on that fastball down and away. Taylor before that double had been stuck in a 2 for 32 skid. He's batting 189 on the year. Go ahead runs at second with 2 outs. Nationals have now out hit the D-backs 7-5. Each team has left 5. Pitcher spot is up next for Washington. That's 8th in their order. Moises Sierra is in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Ryan Madsen.
Yeah, Nationals one of those teams that carries the extra pitcher. They only have 4 bench players available. And because of the injury to Matt Wieters, you can't run for Severino, even though he represents a potential go-ahead run of the game.
Nick Ahmed one more time. Taylor can really get up that line. Boxberger strands the 2-out double when we come back. 1-1 bottom 9 and AJ leads it off. Sent the Wayback Machine to Cinco de Mayo against the Astros. And AJ, an infield single, a walk-off winner. D-backs won the ball game 4-3. So we'll look for more walk-off magic as Pollock leads off the 9th. AJ tonight 0 for 3. Madsen still out there for Washington. Pollock, Souza, Marte 4, 5, and 6 in the D-backs 9th. Starts him off with a curveball there, 0-1. Boy, Madsen's kind of been all over the place with his fastball here tonight. Thrown a few way up high. That one was in the dirt. Kendrick's got it at second. They retire Pollock to start the 9th. Well, maybe this is Steven Souza Jr.'s Diamondback moment. Steven so far tonight 0 for 3. He's got 1 career walk-off home run. That was back in 2017 with the Tampa Bay Rays. A solo homer beat the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers in here for 3 games starting on Monday. 98 right there. 0-1. That curveball's been effective for him. 1-2.
That's usually his third best pitch behind that high 90s fastball and a tremendous straight changeup, but he's really spraying the fastball around, so find something else. Go into that curveball more often.
Went to the fastball and strikes out Souza.
Deceptive velocity for Ryan Madson. Very easy delivery. Doesn't really look like he's putting a lot of effort into it, but that ball just leaps out of his hand.
Ketel Marte singled and scored in the 5th. Came home on Zach Greinke's 2-out RBI single for the D-backs' only run. Yoshihisa Hirano has started warming up at the D-back bullpen. Well, Yoshi wiggled out of that bases loaded mess in LA the other night in extra innings. Big swing at that curveball. Another good one from Madson. 1-1.
It's been a while for Ketel Marte for an extra base hit in 15 games plus his at bats tonight. That runs it up to 64 plate appearances without an extra base hit.
Well, he tried to bunt, and that one Severino got the worst of it, it appeared. That brought Rendon sprinting in from third. Three and one. Nick Ahmed on deck. Got the hard fastball. 3-2. Well, there was a time when Ryan Madson back in the day would just kind of baby you with changeups to death over and over and over. Now he's out there throwing 98. Deep breaths. Full count. 3-2. Just inside with a fastball. Winning runs aboard with 2 outs and Ahmed the hitter. That is the first base on balls for either side tonight. Here's Nick, who just missed a home run last night at Dodger Stadium, and inside the park homer off the top of the center field wall at Dodger Stadium. Ahmed tonight 0 for 3. That fastball found the strike zone. 0-1. Jeff Mathis's spot is up next. Alex Avila's in the on deck circle. Should Ahmed reach? Look out. That's a curveball that got away and hit him. Well, that pitch has been very effective for Madson tonight. He really lost the handle on that one, though. Oh, boy. Yeah,
curveball just never took the break. Tried to overthrow it. Might have just glanced off the sleeve of the jersey right there. I think Dave Martinez is going to ask.
He's going to challenge. I'm not sure that hit, Nick. Dave Martinez will challenge the hit by pitch. D-backs did this earlier and got a hit by pitch call in their favor when Ketel Marte was up in the 7th inning. Let's see if we can hear anything. Take a listen. You saw Rippiger touch his arm there, indicating it may have got Nick on the forearm.
And called it right away. I mean, immediately. It wasn't like he thought about it. Maybe it hit him, maybe it didn't. It looked like Rippiger definitely heard something. He called it immediately.
I've had umpires tell me that in situations like that, they will often place more emphasis on what they hear than what they see. That may have been the case for Rippiger right there. Here's another look.
Right away.
You need clear and convincing evidence that it didn't hit him to get the call overturned, so the Diamondbacks have that in their favor. You can see David Martinez, no one missed him by that much. Well, they're taking an awfully close look at this in New York here. It's a key moment in the game. Bottom 9, tied at 1 and 2 outs. And here we go. They're going to put him back at the plate. So Dave Martinez wins his challenge, gets the hit by pitch overturned. Nick looks like a kid who got his hand caught in the cookie jar there. It was a good act. So we'll armor up and start again. Avila still in the on-deck circle, set to hit for Mathis. Ketel Marte, the winning run at first base, 2 outs. 1 and 1 on Nick Ahmed. Change up, 1 and 2.
And Matson gets that 10-mile-an-hour split you're looking for between your fastball and your straight changeup. That one at 85. His fastball's been in the mid to upper 90s.
Yeah, we've seen him pretty consistently 97, 98 here. Fastball off the plate, but Rippiger calls strike 3. And we'll head to extra innings here at Chase Field, tied at 1. inning. And maybe look where the catcher's mitt is. That's pitch framing right there. Severino's mitt is in the zone. The ball is outside the strike zone. And it's a called strike 3.
What a turn of events. Went from a hit by pitch, moving the winning run of the ball game into scoring position, to an inning-ending strikeout on a bad pitch.
And I still would like to see the angle that shows clear and convincing evidence that it did not hit Nick Ahmed. Yoshihisa Hirano on to start the 10th. And Moises Sierra is off the bench to hit for the pitcher Madsen. Yoshi pulled a magic act the other night in LA when he got out of a bases loaded mess in a ball game the D-backs eventually won to beat the Dodgers. That was on Tuesday night. So Sierra leads it off for the Nationals in the 10th. Sierra 180, 4 RBIs this year. His last base hit April 24th. He's 0 for 16 since with 9 strikeouts.
Well, that was Sierra taking this at bat in the pitcher spot. That leaves only Ryan Zimmerman available off the bench for Dave Martinez as far as position players go.
That's where we were Tuesday in that game. Hirano pitched. Dave Roberts was using pitchers as pinch runners. He was using third basemen as catchers. Everybody played in that game, everyone except Jeff Mathis. Yoshi ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Moises Sierra.
Andrew Stevenson waiting on deck.
Reds have come from behind to take a lead in LA. They are ahead of the Dodgers 3-1 in the 7th inning. Padres at home trailing the Cardinals 2-1. They're in the 9th at Petco Park. Brewers beat the Rockies at Coors Field. Giants lost at Philadelphia. This is poked down the line and foul and right. Fastball up, and it's full 3-2. Hit hard, but to second base for Marte.
Marte right in the right spot. You see him cheating up the middle of the field. That one whistles right over the mound, and Marte right there to make the play. They put him there for a reason.
Here's Stevenson, who singled his last time up. 1 for 3. Tony Perez-Chica, the third base coach responsible for positioning the infielders. Here's a split right at the bottom of the zone, and it's 0-1. Another one right there. Bryce Harper, the on-deck hitter. 0-2 on Andrew Stevenson. Maybe just another show me fastball up to set him up for another split finger pitch.
That's the way you want to do it. If you're just going to throw a pitch to show to a hitter to give him a velocity to gauge, make sure you throw it somewhere he can't hit it.
Here's the split right there. Yoshi reaches out and snags it. 2 outs. Quick glove hand there, Yoshihisa Hirano.
Yeah, once again, if Yoshi lets that ball go, Nick Ahmed is right there behind the play, but he goes ahead and fields it successfully. A 1-3 put out at first base.
Well, here's Harper. He singled to lead off the ball game against Zach Greinke. 1 for 4. Fastball just off the plate, missed. Harper right now stuck in a 1 for 23 skid. Had the day off yesterday in San Diego. Got the fastball on 2-0.
Put it in a good spot down low around the knees out near that outside corner. And the rule of thumb in a extra inning ball game is stay away from a hitter's power. Now some hitters have power everywhere, but I think for Bryce Harper, he wants to pull the ball. That's where his power is, in right field.
That's the way they're playing him with the shift on. Chases that fastball away, slaps it foul, and it's 2-2. And now Ahmed and Descalso will switch spots. Ahmed moves over to shortstop. Two and 2 to Bryce Harper. Little tapper over the mound. Descalso has it. Yoshi Hirano, a 1-2-3 10th. D-backs coming up.
A little more of the strike zone there, but then goes right back off that outside corner, ultimately getting that easy ground ball to Daniel Descalso in the shift for the final out of the inning.
Another nice job by Yoshi Hirano. Gets us to the home half of the 10th inning. And the D-backs will face a new pitcher, the right-hander Brandon Kinsler. Looks like Alex Avila is going to bat for Jeff Mathis here to lead off the inning. And then John Ryan Murphy, another catcher, would hit in the pitcher spot after that. So here's Alex. Avila 148. He's homered twice. Kendrick backs way up at second base. He's halfway out to right field. A little tapper to first. Kinsler gets over there. Adams has it. One away. Now Murphy will be recalled. And Gerard Dyson will come up and hit for Hirano. Trying to get Dyson's speed aboard. He's stuck in a 1 for 20 right now, batting 160 on the year.
Yeah, and I think the reason Dyson wasn't in the on-deck circle to take this at bat initially was if Alex Avila reached, I bet we would have seen Dyson run for him at first base rather than take this at bat as a pinch hitter.
Representing what would be the winning run. That's something you see a lot of from Torey Lovullo. If this happens, then this. If that happens, then that. So everybody's standing by for whichever scenario presents itself.
Contingency plans.
Yeah. Way out in front of that changeup, 0-2.
Since we are saluting the 0-1 team here tonight, in Game 7 of the World Series, I think Greg Colburn got on deck 5 times in one inning and never took an at bat.
Well, at least he felt like he was in the game. Well, you're hitting for Hirano here, so Fernando Salas will start to warm up in the D-back bullpen. Salas threw 17 pitches in the game last night in LA and 9 pitches the night before that. Knocked into right. Dyson's aboard. Harper cuts it off. And Gerard's the winning run. And now his speed's aboard for Peralta.
Boy, center cut fastball at 94. Dyson's all over it. Boy, too bad that couldn't get down into the corner. He would have ended up at third base. As it is, he's on at first with 1 out.
David 2 for 4. He singled twice. Now the cat and mouse game is underway. Dave McKay down there at first. Dyson holds. Good fastball there from Kinsler, 0-1. Freight train's ready to roll here. Dyson takes off. Peralta fouls that one away.
Well, that's too bad. As a left-handed hitter, you don't know the kind of jump that your base runner at first base got. Unfortunately, David doesn't know that Dyson had a huge jump, was going to steal that bag easily. He just saw a pitch he thought he could hit and took a swing at it. A right-handed batter, you can obviously see that out of your peripheral vision when that runner breaks for second. If you see he's got a great jump, just take the pitch. But as a left-handed hitter, you don't have that luxury.
0-2. Tyson holding.
That was in effect a pitch out right there. Severino was set up way over in the right-handed batter's box.
Checking into the Nats dugout.
12 attempted steals on Severino this summer. 4 times he's caught the opposing base runner.
He is considered a good defensive catcher and a good catch and throw guy back there.
Jarrod Dyson a perfect 5 for 5 this season in stolen base attempts. 85% career stolen base rate for him. Split the attention between the batter at the plate and the base runner at first. That's when mistakes tend to happen.
One ball and 2 strikes on David Peralta. Dyson holds. Change up in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Descalso on deck. 1 out here in the 10th. Dyson takes off. Pitches a ball. He's out. Pedro Severino.
Pretty good jump. Strong throw. However, it's low. Nice job that time by Trey Turner to get the glove above the baseball so you're going down when you make the catch on that 1-hop throw. Led him right into that tag. Strong throw from Severino.
That was a heck of a play. Full count on Peralta. Bases empty, 2 down. Ball 4. Winning runs back on. Here comes Descalso. Daniel singled in the first. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He's been a big RBI man lately. Fastball away, 1-0. Coming inside here. That's a base hit. And Peralta's on the run. He's headed for third. He's going to stop there. Descalso doubles. He's got an extra base hit in 5 straight games. Daniel Descalso.
Turned that one around, pulled it down into that right field corner. Any mishandling of that ball at all by Bryce Harper in right field, and Tony Perez-Chica was going to windmill David Peralta on home. Unfortunately, Harper came up with it cleanly, got off a strong, accurate throw to the cut man, so Tony had to throw up the stop sign at third.
Derek Lilliquist wants a word as Goldie steps up, and the whole infield will take part here. Goldie tonight 0 for 4. He struck out in his last 2 at bats.
We'll see what the Nationals do here. There was a time not so long ago where it was undoubted what would have happened here. Goldie would have walked intentionally and they'd have gone after A.J. Pollock, but the roles have reversed a little bit here in the early going this season. A.J. has been the much more dangerous hitter.
Goldie with only 2 RBIs in his last 21 games. Winning runs 90 feet away with 2 outs in the 10th. Low call from Mark Ripperger. Fastball just below the knees, 0-1. It's a borderline strike. One and one. Third base, Rendon. We'll head to the 11th. Still a 1-1 ball game. Ball game. Here's all the scoring tonight. 5th inning, Zach Greinke, a 2-out RBI single, and that's been the only D-backs run. Nationals answered in the 8th inning after a Michael A. Taylor leadoff double. He was at third, and Archie Bradley balked in the tying run. And we're still tied up at 1 as we start the 11th. And here's Fernando Salas, who worked both games of that series in LA this week. Trey Turner, Anthony Rendon, Matt Adams due up 2, 3, and 4 in the Nationals 11th. Alex Avila, who hit for Jeff Mathis, takes over behind the plate. Turner first pitch swinging, fastball, 0-1.
How about this, partner? In 28 games in the first month of the season, the Diamondbacks made 9 defensive replacements. That was the fewest in the National League. In 9 May games, they've made 8 defensive replacements already, second most in the majors.
Probably not a coincidence that that coincides with the offense going south for a while. Played a lot of these types of games here lately when you got to move some pieces around. Robbie Hammock, Torey Lovello, Jerry Narin looking for answers. Base hit. Now Turner speeds aboard to start the 11th. He's got 12 stolen bases on the year. He's only been caught once.
Slashes that ball through the right side for a leadoff base hit, and as you said, you got to keep an eye on him over there at first base. Expect a couple of pickoff throws here.
He can absolutely fly. Rendon 0 for 4.
Just a slight flinch that time by Turner before diving safely back into the bag at first.
Andrew Chafin, the left-hander, starts to get hot in the D-back bullpen. You've got the left-hand batting power hitter Matt Adams on deck. Chafin's a guy that can get hot quickly. Zoom ball there from Salas. Fernando Salas has been a workhorse in this D-backs bullpen, and for the most part he's done a very good job. Threw 9 pitches in LA on Tuesday night, 17 last night. Turner holding at first. Another fastball up. 2 balls and no strikes on Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, we were told when we were in Washington just a couple of weeks ago on that road trip that Turner's a guy that usually doesn't try to run until later in the at bat. They wish he would run a little bit sooner. Michael Taylor, a guy that normally runs first or second pitch of that following hitter's at bat, but Trey Turner, he likes to pick his spot.
Let's see if he likes this on 2-0. You could hear Tim Bogard down there shouting back, first base coach.
Boy, when you have a premier base stealer on first, you want to jump ahead in the count to the following hitter if you can. That way you have the luxury of pitching out if you think Turner's going to run.
Well, that fastball was in the zone, but it's ball 3. Turner still holding down there. Adams on deck, Chafin ready in the bullpen.
Yeah, right at the top of the zone, kind of pops out of Alex Avila's mitt, but they don't get the call.
Turner still holding. Here's your 3-0 fastball. Big city. Turner takes off. Ball 4. First 2 have reached in the Washington 11th. And here comes Torey Lovullo to bring in his left-hander Chafin. And Andrew inherits a real mess here. 1-1 11th inning, 2 on and no outs. D-backs out of this mess. 2 on and nobody out. Here are the numbers for Chafin. 2.31 the ERA. The concern is lately, in his last 3 appearances, Andrew has faced 5 batters. He's walked 4 and given up a base hit. And Big City Matt Adams is the hitter. Now keep in mind you've got Turner down there at second base with lightning fast speed. Last year, Trey Turner stole third base 14 times. He was only caught once. And he's got a left-hander on the mound with his back to the base runner. Adams 0 for 4. D-backs 3 infielders on the first base side. Sliders in the dirt. The problem for Andrew Bob, I'm sorry, he's just been coming in and falling behind in counts almost immediately.
Yeah, just like that, spiking that slider way out in front of home plate. I mean, it's just a non-competitive pitch. Opposing hitters see the ball leave his hand. They recognize it's going to be in the dirt right away. Just hasn't been able to get that pitch close enough to the bottom of the zone to get some swings.
Silvino Bracho has started warming up at the D-back pen.
I mentioned it a couple of innings ago that Dave Martinez does have Ryan Zimmerman still available off the bench should he choose to go that direction.
Here's Chip Hale, former D-back skipper, now the bench coach for Dave Martinez. Fastball's a strike, 1-1. Adams, not only has he been crushing the ball this month, he's got 7 homers in 9 games in May. He's also been taking his walks. 7 bases on balls. His on base percentage this month is an even .500.
Now that inside move to second base that we've seen Andrew use twice now with Trey Turner back there, that's the great equalizer. If you're going to go on first movement as a base runner, that spin move to second base will catch you every time.
Trey Turner at second, Anthony Rendon at first. He chops it the other way through the hole. Turner will score. And the Nationals take a 2-1 lead. They had the shift on, and Matt Adams just shoots it the other way.
Well, it's really the only place he could hit that pitch. A fastball down low and away from him. Just gets a barrel on it, guides it through into left field. And with Turner's speed, he will score easily.
Now here's Howie Kendrick. Kendrick doubled in the 7th, 1 for 4 tonight.
How about this, partner? On April 28th, the D-backs bullpen ERA stood at a collective 1.62. Now it's up to 2.45. Just over less than 2 weeks.
They've really had to work hard the last couple of weeks. They've played so many of these 1-run games, extra inning games, high leverage situations time and time again because the offense is just really scuffling. Nice slider there, kept it down 0-2. Final in San Diego. Padres lose to the Cardinals 2-1. Dodgers at home trail the Reds 4-1. They're in the 9th. Rockies lost at home to Milwaukee. Giants lost at Philly. 1-2 on Howie Kendrick. Goldie backhands it. Underhand toss. Ahmed. Oh, pretty. Andrew Chafin able to hang on. That's not your everyday 3-6-1.
Yeah, Goldie with the underhand toss leading him right to Nick Ahmed at second base. He fires on, and yeah, Andrew Chafin able to keep the foot on the bag as he does a back somersault there. What a double play.
So Rendon's at third. 2 down now, and it's the catcher Pedro Severino. So Lovello going to go to his bullpen. Bracho's been warming up down there. And here he comes. We'll take a break. D-backs trail at 2-1.
Back Severino will be the next hitter, and one of the biggest defensive plays in this game, Gerard Dyson with a pinch hit single with 1 out, was gunned down attempting to steal by Pedro Severino. Put the throw right on the bag to catch a speedy Gerard Dyson.
Big smile right there from Severino. And he'll hit with Rendon at third, and 2 outs. A run is in for Washington. Severino doubled his last time up against Brad Boxberger. First pitch swinging right to Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Home half of the 11th. Pollock, Souza, Marte due up. Well, the Astros' Colin McHugh may be a trendsetter. We have our second bullpen cart passenger. It's the Nationals' closer, Sean Doolittle.
Well, Sean Doolittle got to ride shotgun, though. McHugh rode on the back.
Everybody has their own individual style. A.J. Pollock will lead off the home half of the 11th inning. He's 0 for 4. D-backs down 2-1, and Doolittle's on for the save for the Nationals. 6 for 6 this year. Pollock, Souza, Marte, 4, 5, and 6 against the Washington left-hander.
24 strikeouts in 15 2/3 innings of work for Doolittle this year.
Doolittle saved the series finale for Washington against the D-backs last month on that cold Sunday. His 5th save of the year. He worked in all 3 games in that series, so they've seen plenty of Sean Doolittle so far this year. Oh, 0-2 on AJ. D-backs 1 run on 7 hits. They've left 8. Chased a high heater and strikes out, 1 away.
I mentioned it earlier when Archie Bradley committed the balk at third base, just trying to do too much. A.J. Pollock, knowing that this offense really relies on him lately, chased a pitch way up out of the zone that time, trying to do a little bit too much.
Steven Souza Jr. 0 for 4. He struck out twice. 2 for 19 as a D-back so far. That one squips past the mound. Turner charges, and Souza's aboard. Steven Souza Jr., who runs well for a big man. He's aboard as the tying run.
Got jammed just enough that time. Little slow roller on the left side. Once it gets by Doolittle, that's going to be a tough play for either the third baseman or the shortstop. Turner gets rid of it as quickly as he can, but as you said, Souza really runs well for a big guy. Got down that line in a hurry.
Well, he is a physical specimen and all kinds of athletic tools. Ketel Marte from the right side now. Ketel has singled and scored a run. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. 1 for 2. Oh, Souza was running on first movement and just does get back to the bag. Now he's a guy who's a pretty good base stealer as well. He swiped 16 last year in Tampa Bay, and he was off on first move right there.
And once again, I think it's a situation where he just had such a big jump he couldn't believe it.
Something must be wrong. He's an entertaining base runner as a Diamondback, if nothing else, that's for sure. That goes back to what we were just mentioning a moment ago. They got 3 looks at Doolittle when we were in D.C. last month, so Dave McKay's got plenty loaded into the old iPad there. So he must have had something, because Souza got a great jump. Going backwards toward first. Just outside the strike zone. Ketel not loving that call. It's 1-1. That's another case of Severino with the mitt in the zone. The ball just outside it as he frames it for a strike. Center field for Taylor, backing up. And he's got it just shy of the track. Souza was standing at second. And he'll get back to the bag at first. Allowed out number 2. And Nick Ahmed will hit. It's not a bad matchup for Nick. Does well against left-handers. Jody Jackson, Mark Grace standing by. D-backs live post-game show follows our ball game. Same 2 teams here tomorrow night. Matt Cook against Max Scherzer. It's headed for radio. Look out, Mike Farron. Luckily, Farron is down on the field waiting for his post-game interview. That one hit his chair. The moral compass off course. Alex Avila's spot is due up next. Chris Owings has come out in the on-deck circle. Should Ahmed reach? I think if they were going to advance Souza there on Doolittle, they had their opportunity. There he goes. Souza's off and running. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. 0-2 on Ahmed. Tying run at second now with 2 outs.
Tremendous jump. Severino doesn't even bother to make a throw to second base that time.
So Steven does get in there eventually, but now Nick is down to his final strike.
Good numbers with runners in scoring position for Nick this season. 364 with 3 homers.
0-2. Popped it up. Turner drifting out there. And the Diamondbacks drop the opener of this 4-game set 2-1. The Nationals win it in 11 innings.
Yeah, it's really a shame to waste a tremendous starting performance by Zach Greinke here tonight. Unfortunately, just couldn't get enough offense going once again.
That's been the story far too often as of late. For more on that, it's D-backs Live, the post-game show. Gracie standing by with Jody.
Well, that has been the story. You know, Gracie, we talked about it in pregame and we delineated the pitching, and that was right on, spot on with these 2 teams, but not enough offense here tonight. The D-backs leaving 8 men on base.
Yeah, tremendous pitching by both teams, and the bullpen was just fine. I mean, you give up 2 runs in 11 innings, you figure you're going to win the game, but unfortunately, the offense was, well, also carried by Zach Greinke, the starting pitcher.
Yeah, there's no question about that. He did drive in the very first run. We will take a closer look at how this game unfolded. Some of the missed opportunities for sure for this offense, because they did have them, just could not get that clutch hit. A 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position here tonight. Much more coming your way here on D-backs Live. Kate Longworth will have reaction from inside the clubhouse, and Bob Brenly will join us as well. Stay tuned to D-backs Live, presented by CenturyLink.